WSUM Sports. Welcome to the first ever video podcast of the Toss the Mic Sportscast. Let's dive right on in with the hottest take of the day. Joe Flacco, Travis Hunter. That is a duo that could immediately make the Browns a playoff threat. Joe Flacco, he signed a one-year, $4 million contract on the surface, but it can be worth up to $13 million in incentives, which is basically starter money. And you definitely know that he's going to hit some of those incentives, so bring that number to around like $7 million. But anyways, Joe Flacco, remember what he was last time he was in Cleveland? Like, he fits Kevin Stefanski like a glove. He is the ultimate Cleveland Browns scheme fit. I thought it was Kirk Cousins before, but, Kirk Cousins, the Achilles situation, and having to pay maybe upwards of a third-round pick for him, that would be absolutely insane. And I think the Cleveland Browns made the right move here signing Joe Flacco, because Kenny Pickett being the only quarterback on your roster that's capable of starting a football game is something that needs to be changed immediately. Kenny Pickett can think that he's going to start, but that's not going to happen. Joe Flacco's got this one in the bag, and the Cleveland Browns are going to draft Travis Hunter. That's the best fit for this situation. You remember when he played with Amari Cooper, right? He could launch that thing when he has the weapons. He'll have Jerry Jeudy. He'll have Travis Hunter. And he'll have an offensive line that's better than the one he had when he was in Cleveland last time. They got a whole bunch of new pieces, and it will look a whole lot better. Trust me. And this team is basically like getting the 11-5 group back together. I'm saying 11-5 because they sat their starters against the Bengals. They always forget that. In Week 18, they sat their starters against the Bengals, really forfeiting the best record they could have had in franchise history, 12-5, or at least since the 60s. So, yeah, Travis Hunter to the Browns makes the most sense. And behind him, I would probably go Abdul Carter, because that defensive line would be absolutely nasty with Myles Garrett and Abdul Carter on that line. Abdul Carter's like adding a Micah Parsons, adding another Myles Garrett. This guy's a generational prospect, and really, after Travis Hunter and after Abdul Carter, you could watch previous podcasts. We've said this before. If you check that out on the WSUM app or anywhere you get your podcast, Toss the Mic, look it up there. We always talked about that Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter, and after that, the prospects just take an absolute nosedive. And that is the case here. You either go Abdul Carter or you go Travis Hunter. And that is the case. That is the end of it. I don't want to hear anything about Shedeur Sanders. If you want Shedeur Sanders, trade down. And I'm not saying trade down to the teens. I'm saying trade down to like 7 or 9, because now the Saints are an absolute threat to draft Shedeur Sanders, because they just lost Derek Carr, and it feels like they've known this for a long time. Like, they've been restructuring his contract, and the news comes out that his shoulder is likely going to need surgery. Yeah, they're going to draft Shedeur or maybe possibly someone else like Jackson Dart, but that's not going to happen. We said this about Michael Penix last year. That's the only reason why I'm mentioning it. That's not my take. Please don't take that to heart. So moving on here, Green Bay is hosting the draft. Are they going to make a splash, or are they going to make a sploosh, as I like to call it? Are they going to trade up or down? Because if you can't host a draft and trade out of the first round. And I think the Packers should absolutely trade up. There are prospects that are going to fall in the mid-teens, like Will Johnson. There's going to be maybe even Ted McMillan. I know. I've heard some rumors. There's some smoke screens around here that maybe Ted McMillan could fall to the mid-teens. And if he does fall to the mid-teens, Will Johnson falls to the mid-teens. Imagine pairing Will Johnson with Jair Alexander. Hear me out here. The Packers make a splash hosting the draft. The entire crowd goes nuts. It goes down in history. We all remember it, and it's the last time the Packers conservative front office makes a really out-of-character move. So maybe they make that move, but they just can't trade down, right? Like, why would they trade down? Here's some targets that I have for you. Jahdae Brown, Kenneth Grant, that one's probably a hard maybe because you can't trade down and get that. You got Derek Harmon, you got Mike Green, the guy from Marshall that's absolutely been lighting up the Senior Bowl, and Josh Simmons as well. He's one of the last good left tackles that are first-round caliber. So trading down really doesn't feel good at all, because the prospect here, if you can go to the teens, you're going to get someone good, and if you stay in the 20s, you're going to get that same 18 to 33 prospect range. They're all really the same type of prospect grade-wise. So I think the Green Bay Packers can make an absolute out-of-character move and trade up while they're hosting the draft. Moving on here, top 5 of the NFL draft. You could hear more about this in our last podcast. Toss the Mic once again. Check that out on the app or anywhere you get your podcast. Or check it out on the WSUM Instagram, WSUM Sports on Instagram. Check that out. It's a quick little reel, and it goes over who I have going in the top 5. But we're going to go over it once again for the YouTube audience. Cam Ward to the Titans. This one's obvious. They've been infatuated by him. The GM loves him, and they canceled all their visits with every other quarterback in this draft class. So take that as you will. Cam Ward's odds to go number 1 are astronomical. Like, there are There is better odds. Hear this one out. We talked about this one on the podcast as well last week. There are better odds for Shedeur Sanders to go to the Green Bay Packers than there are for Cam Ward to go outside of number 1. Now, I know that sounds absolutely preposterous, but that is the case here. So, Cam Ward to the Titans is the obvious number 1 overall pick. And then you already know who I have going number 2, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's so outlandish. As a couple weeks ago, if I would have told myself this, I would have called myself crazy. But now, they got Joe Flacco, and they're going to get Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is going to go number 2 overall to the Cleveland Browns. The Browns love him. What isn't there to love about Travis Hunter? He can play both corner and receiver. He's absolutely explosive. He's a ball hawk. That's why he's so good at DB and wide receiver. If you put him at cornerback, he's going to have himself a 6 to 7 pick season. I don't know when it is. He's going to be like Sauce Gardner out there. I should have said Trayvon Diggs, but actually not getting beat deep. But you know that story. And at receiver, absolutely explosive out the gate. I wouldn't say Devontae Adams, but let's go with Devontae Adams, but faster. And at number 3, I have the Giants taking Abdul Carter, another prospect you can't pass on. As I said before, the prospect level grade here drops significantly after Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter. It drops so much. So I got to go with Abdul Carter, the Giants here. At number 4, this is where it starts to get fun because the Patriots really should just take whoever they think is the best player available on the offensive side of the ball. They've had extreme issues on the offensive side of the ball ever since they had the Cam Newton days. Mac Jones actually kind of looked like he was going to be the answer until the last 4 weeks of his rookie season. So, yeah, I got to go with Will Campbell on this one. Will Campbell is the best offensive lineman in this draft, and really the only concern about him is his wingspan and his hand size. That is a whole load of you-know-what. They had the same concern with Penei Sewell, and Penei Sewell is one of the best tackles in the league at run blocking. He's okay at pass blocking, but he's one of the league's best at run blocking, and the Patriots could use both of those. And I'm not saying he's bad at pass blocking. He's going to be great at that too. So give me Will Campbell to the Patriots. They need the offensive line help. Pair him with Morgan Moses. They got him over there. They got Stephon Diggs over there. Drake May looked really impressive his rookie year, making a Pro Bowl in his first season, but I can't really stress enough how Pro Bowl alternate is a big asterisk next to it. But moving on here, the number 5 overall pick, I got the Jags taking Mason Graham, the defensive lineman out of Michigan, the anchor of the national championship teams. So I got to go with Mason Graham here. There is 2 great defensive tackles in that team. I got to go with Kenneth Grant as well. Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham, they were the best defensive tackle tandem in college football, winning them a national championship and also being really stout and respectable in 2024 when they went 8-4. But moving on here, I got to move on to the Badger men's basketball team. The transfer portal acquisitions they have made have been absolutely insane. They beat out a blue blood ACC team to get Nick Boyd, a 6'3 guard out of San Diego State. He played his last year there. And at Florida Atlantic, he played his first 3 years there. He was a starter on the Final Four team. That's really all you got to know. And why UNC was so excited to go get him. He actually played about 119 games of college basketball. So that's experience that the Badgers are going to need and they're going to want. So they got that, and he averaged 13.4 points per game, 3.9 rebounds, and 3.9 assists, identical in those 2 numbers. But I think Greg Gard could easily make him a 16.5 point per game mark. You know, he's going to be a great fit for this team. And again, I gotta stress this again. They beat out UNC, an ACC blue blood, to go get him. So moving on here, Andrew Roddy as well, another guard to add to this class. Andrew Roddy, a 6'6 guard out of Virginia. Another experienced pick here. He played for Brookfield Central. He was a big standout in the area. He started out with St. Thomas in Minnesota. He played really well with the Tommies, dominated Group of 5. He had to move up to the Power 5. With Virginia for the past 2 seasons, he has a 3.4 to 1 assist-to-turnover ratio, so that's big for you statistical geeks out there. 41% from 3. You don't have to be a statistical geek to get that one. He's going to be great from 3, and he has 1 year of eligibility remaining. Another John Tom Jay. It's the same deal with Nick Boyd. He has 1 year of eligibility remaining as well. But if you're mad about that, only getting 1 year of eligibility, guys, left, I have a little solution for you. Austin Rapp, a 6'10 forward from Portland. He is coming to the Badgers as well. He's going into his sophomore season. He played his freshman season with Portland. He absolutely dominated there. 33 minutes per game, 13.8 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and 1.5 blocks. He shot 39.7% from the field, 35% from 3, so that's pretty big. A big that can shoot the 3 and stretch the paint and stretch the floor. He's going to be a great big for Wisconsin. He's similar very much to Nolan Winter. You might want to get a big that's dominant in the paint and can get boards for you. But the 6'10 forward had some looks from Michigan, Iowa, and Clemson and Oregon. So this guy was highly coveted as well. Greg Gard and his staff got a big win of this one. So 3 years of eligibility remaining for the key there. He's not a John Tonje. He's going to be someone who's going to be with this program for a while. So let's look at what the Badgers lost and what they're going to gain. So they lost Xavier Amos. I'm guessing this probably came from Greg Gard coming to his office and having a meeting with him, sitting him down and saying, you're going to have a similar role that you did last year. So that's probably why he's entering the portal. Aiden Conop, Chris Hodges, Cameron Hunter, Freitag, some guys that didn't see a lot of minutes. It's pretty obvious why they're entering the portal. Go check out the Group of Five or some other low-tier group Power 5 teams. That's probably what's best for them. And then maybe John Blackwell. He could come back if he doesn't get drafted. We're thinking he's going to get picked in the mid-second round area. So if he comes back, that's 3 really good guards that they're going to have to rotate through next season for the Badgers. And looking at the freshmen that are going to come in and learn under these guards, 4-star Zach Kinzinger out of De Pere, Wisconsin. If you forgot about him, he was one of the most dominant Northeast Wisconsin basketball players, playing for Tyler Hero's ABA team. He's coming. He's good. And if he develops under these guards, look out. Greg Gard and these guards are going to develop Zach Kinzinger into one of the better guards in the Big Ten. He's not going to get a lot of playing time to start out, but man, the development under him or under these guards is going to be insane. Same thing with Hayden Jones, the guard out of New Zealand. He's 6'7". He played for the New Zealand national team as young as he was a 17-year-old. And had averaged 2.9 points and 1.3 assists per game, and that's not bad. He's a high schooler playing for the national team, so look out for him as well. Hayden Jones, Zach Kinzinger in the guard department, and of course we had to get a 7-footer from our area, our neck of the woods, Middleton, Wisconsin. Will Garlick, 7-foot center, a 3-star prospect, someone that's going to learn a lot under the 2 bigs we have right now in Nolan Winter and Austin Rapp, the 6'10 forward sophomore out of Portland. So the Badgers are looking good going into next season. That's pretty good, and I can't wait to watch them as well. We'll look forward to football season as well. We'll get more videos out for that. And also, just a few announcements before you go. 568 subscribers here on the WSUM YouTube channel. If you want to check out my podcast, it's Toss the Mic. Check out the WSUM app for that, or anywhere you get your podcast. My favorite podcast, if you want one to listen to, here's my recommendation. The Langdon Nordgaard interview. He's number 19, a wide receiver for the Badgers. We had a great conversation. Had it last Thursday from when I'm recording this podcast. So download that podcast and download the brand new WSUM app. Don't forget that. It has great new features. There's a little heart button on the top of every podcast and show, so you'll get a notification when those podcasts, talk shows, music shows start on WSUM 91.7. Thanks for tuning in with me, Johnny Rader, on the Toss the Mic video version, the first of its kind. Hope to see you next time on the WSUM YouTube channel.